Welcome back, everyone, to the Sunday Spotlight, and tonight we're mangling Latin, it would seem. Anachronox is a 2001 role-playing game from none other than Ion Storm. Not Ion Storm Austin, which gave us Deus Ex, but the infamous Dallas office, which released Daikatana the year before. Yeah, this is going to be some nostalgia, no kidding. But yeah, Anachronox would be Ion Storm Dallas's final title, the brainchild of studio co-founder Tom Hall. And while it received a fair bit of critical acclaim, it was basically marked for death. Hey, Mirage, good to see you. Yeah, as I was explaining, that's a photo of the Rainbow Bridge from the north end of Odaiba. But yeah, this game staggered out the door like a month before the studio closed, and rather infamously ends on a sequel hook that would obviously never happen. Which is a shame, because it's still a favorite of mine. I name-dropped this during my Honkai Star Rail video, and this has a very similar strain of humor and weirdness to its universe. It's not quite as fantastical, it lacks that over-the-top anime aesthetic, it's more of a black comedy noir adventure set in space, but you still have that sense of imagination, of innate quirkiness paired with strong world building and sincere character arcs, which is good because the actual gameplay is kind of bland. It is most definitely a game of all time, quite. Yeah, it's basically we have Final Fantasy VII at home and on the Quake 2 engine for some reason. Active time combat, no real customization, very simple gear progression, and so on. Dallas Delenda Est, oh god. Man. It was a very fascinating time for video games. It was literally the best and worst of times. But yes, where this game stands out, and this is kind of where Star Rail lost me a little bit, is that it's quite content to show rather than tell with its story. Now, the models haven't aged well, but it is extremely confident with its cinematography. I'm by no means a film nerd, but this game kind of turns me into one. Some quick technical notes. Like most games released in 2000, it is a bastard to run these days. The GOG version is a godsend. Last time I tried my disc copy, I had to download like a specific version of a graphics card driver. I replaced a few files with hack copies that for some reason were only hosted on like the German version of FileFront or something. Just a pain in the ass top to bottom. God only knows how GOG got this working. I assume actual sorcery is involved. Anyway, we'll start this intro up. I'll eventually explain what we're getting into, but I want you all to just see what you can pick up just from the visuals. Let's get rolling. Yeah, Arcana procedures were conducted. Quite. Now you're gonna see some hinkiness because this game was not designed for widescreen. I'm using a modded version for that, so there'll be some things that were not meant to be displayed. You'll see as we go in, but I still quite like this intro here. It's just using the visuals to tell the story, and we're doing a gradual fly-in to what appears to be a giant sea mine in space. Yeah, you can kind of see ships popping in and out as you get on the edge of the screen. Then, of course, there's this, which honestly was pretty impressive for 2001, but you can see there it just kind of disappears on the edges. Yeah. Morning commutes remain awful. Yeah, even when the city literally moves for you. And now here's our protagonist. Bar already living up to its name. Definitely getting that average day in the life of a private investigator. Yeah, no kidding. They're definitely stretching the engine to... I don't know if it's the limit of what it can do, but they're definitely doing things I don't think it was really designed for. Yeah, a lot of it's in the strength of the level design and the art design. Again, the models have not aged well, but they're doing some impressive things with the camera work here. For the time, I should say.
The money, Boots. Or next time,
Ah,
I
shit.
mix and match.
I forgot to turn on subtitles for this. My bad. These should have subtitles, and I screwed it.
Hit me.
Hasn't there been enough of that?
Have a heart.
You want to dead us, kids?
Anyone else throwing me out of windows lately?
Did you notice that? That's the actor knowing he has to raise his voice to jab at the goon as he leaves. It's a subtle detail, but that's the level this game's on. I can't say enough good things about the VA direction. We continue.
Come clean with the debt, Sly. Dead is no slouch, and he's got muscle. He'll collect one way or the other.
Hey, money's tight. As soon as it rains, I'll pour some.
I'd suggest a job if I thought you'd take it.
Try me.
The key to my cellar's missing.
Oh, yeah? Where's the job part come in?
When you find it, I pay you.
3 whole finger
Man, I need a
blobs.
real case. I need a challenge worthy of my deductive and pugilistic skills.
And he's the
But
human
I've
here.
got a bouncer.
Cute.
You want some real advice? Find a job. It's amazing how many of your problems it'll solve.
You think? Fatima!
And now we're about to introduce our interface.
What?
Anything on SenderNet?
Yeah, she's not in a great mood, and
Nothing you're sober enough for.
we'll find out why.
I'm just waiting for business to pick up. What's with the attitude?
For one, I'm sick of being dead.
And second, I'm tired of watching you drink your life away. When did you become such a bum?
I'm not a bum.
Prove it.
Bums don't have offices.
An office isn't a storage room in a cheap bar, Boots.
Hey.
It's time for a new line of work.
Forget it, sweetheart. I'm a detective. It's what I do.
Then go out.
Yeah, it's a really
and
creative
do it.
touch.
I'm always here if you ever get off your butt and make useful.
Alright. With that, we begin. Alright, class, pencils down. So how'd you do? Let's review. We're in the space future, and our setting is a strange, shifting planetoid that serves as a hub for galactic transportation. Our protagonist, Sly Boots, is your standard down-on-his-luck detective looking for a job. Threatened by the mob over unpaid debts, he pounces on the first lead he finds, which of course is going to spiral into a grand adventure across space. Standard stuff, right? But you got most of that without a single word of dialogue. You show the spaceships coming and going, this sweeping flyby that progressively zooms in on the moving city, closing in on Boots' office as he's getting the shit beat out of him. There are strange elements to the setting, but they're grounded by a very classic scenario. You immediately get the sense of what's happening, who the protagonist is, and what kind of story you're in for, and that's your anchor point as the game walks you through the actual setting, the titular city planet of Anachronox, which, yeah, it's a long-dead alien city planet floating inside the shell of Sender 1. It was theorized to once have been home to millions of quarantined aliens who slowly died of some horrible plague, leaving the city to fall to ruins, to be taken over by the refuse of the galaxy as the center of their nefarious dealings. Anachronox means poison from the past, or poison remaining from a previous time. Anachronism noxious. That's one possible interpretation of it, is my understanding. It kind of depends on what part you're emphasizing. But yeah, in-universe, space travelers just kind of found the city, and it's theorized that some kind of toxin wiped out all previous inhabitants. Let me adjust the subtitles here real quick. So yeah, we got a job to do. Fatima is both a character in the story and our cursor that she flies around and interacts with stuff, and she's how we talk to people. So yeah, if we want to talk to this fella here. I'm nervous, Sly. Dead is sending people to the tunnels beneath behind the tenements to excavate Mistech. Problem is, everyone's coming out of there minus their limbs. And don't forget she's dead. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to fight cave monsters, and I certainly don't want to work for Detta. But a man's got to eat, right? Now here's another nice little detail, that when the camera stays zoomed in on a person, if they've got more to say. Did I ever tell you I'm afraid of the dark? So yeah, the camera snaps back out once we're done. So it's a nice little nudge that you can continue poking this character if you like, or you can start the conversation up again. Yeah, she's mostly dead. It's kind of complicated. Actually, let's see, here we go. Life cursor. Corticom device that is a flying personal digital assistant. So I believe... Here we go. Doing Fatima. Me. I was Boots' personal secretary for a long time, then I died, and you, to be cruel, had me digitized so I could serve you in the afterlife. Thanks. Oh, and yes, you've been mispronouncing my name for years. So yeah, she's... The clear implication here is that Boots kind of fallen on hard times. Fatima has been unable to do anything but just watch him drink his life away. And she's very snarky in the early game here. So yeah, do this stuff because I ain't letting you leave Rowdy's without a clue. Get the camera off your desk, find some money in your office, use the time minder over there for luck, find yourself a job lead. Yeah, post-death capitalism. Yeah, even death can't liberate you from this. So yeah, the cursor, it disappears when you move, and that controls your camera, but when you're stationary, you gotta move the cursor to the edge of the screen in order to rotate things. Not a huge issue, just something to keep in mind. Hey there, Boots, there's glass in your hair. I know, it's all the rage on Cortica. All the elements are falling into place. In a few weeks, we'll hit Detta's fortress. So yeah, we got kind of a resistance movement against a local criminal element. I'd ask you to join us if I thought you'd say yes. Yurikon's disappeared, and he's got the blueprints. Where is that boy? Nox guards raided the compounds of the top 3 crime lords in the bricks last night. Guess Detta's got the house to himself now. The 3 crime lords are in detention awaiting trial. They'll all be dead within the week. It's just a matter of time before we topple Detta. We're just weeks away from something big. Resistance could use you. Too bad you're you. So yeah, again, we're in a strange, fantastical setting, but we're dealing with some very standard kind of noir cyberpunk tropes that sort of help us ease in and let us get acquainted with with both our protagonist and the world he inhabits. So let's see here. There's another 200 bucks. My old intercom. Don't need it now that you're in my life cursor, Fatima. Man, I gotta clean up sometime. Let's see, what other things can we interact with here? Ah! PAL 18's been out of commission all year. Size B batteries are scarce around the bricks. Otherwise I would have juiced them up soon as I could. Poor little guy. We had some good times. Man, I've modified the hell out of PAL over the years. Bet Corticom never thought someone could trick out their toys with data port accessories and battle claws. Subtle little hint there. I miss you, little hot rod. Alright, moving along. Alright. Lost the key to the back room a long time ago, but I bet I can pick the lock. So yeah, our detective is a well-organized individual. This is how we get stuff done with mini-games. So in this case, it's basically a hot-cold thing. So we gotta solve the entire lock in time to proceed. Handle the lock, we'll show you how close we are. So yeah. So, yes. Hey, got the first, got that one. Alright, so that's off by about 4 or 5. There's no real penalty for getting this wrong. You just try again. There's like only select circumstances where you're under any kind of real-time pressure. Although there are some puzzles that require upgrades to your world skills, basically. Boots is lockpicking, and obviously we'll get some more. Alright, what's this? Now we... Ah! So we gotta pick this too. Ah, case in point. So yeah, master pick lock, we're not skilled enough to pick this. So you see, we've only got 10 seconds, so we'll need an upgrade before we can attempt this. Anyway... Is there anything in the back? It doesn't appear to have helped. We're getting that thing again. This happened with Deus Ex too. These games just do not do well with... Ah, there's some money. They do not do well with working on 2 monitors, unfortunately. Anyway, we've got some cash here. And I like this little detail. Yeah, Canadian dollar. Due to a freak of galactic commerce, this has become the standard unit of currency for the galaxy. Some areas still use non-digital money. The $1 coin is called a loonie because it has a loon on the back. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe we're getting with this setting. That there's some strange and often, like, weirdly amusing stuff happening that's kind of inexplicable. Okay, my old camera, taking some doozy. Fuck yeah, baby, Canada is taking over. See? All you had to do is hold out to the space future. Now, let's see. We need the hit the time miner, that's our save points, and then we need to find a job lead. There are a few people around here we can talk to give us some advice. Actually, what do we have? Inventory. Ah, here we go. We got 20 bucks. Awesome. We gotta make it last. You, sir. Tell me things. What a wonderfully painful spill you took there. Oh, I think we trapped this guy. Yeah, you fucked up now. You're never leaving this bar again. You can see your neck didn't snap on impact. I delight in the sound. Buy me a drink and I'll tell you the secret to successful fighting. Alright, fine. Have a cocktail. Thank you, Sly. I didn't think you would actually bite. The secret to successful fighting is learning your chops at Whackmaster Jack's Temple of Beating. Okay, sure. You got away. He'll teach you the ropes, the cuts, and the beat. I even taught my younger brother to defend himself against my knuckle hammer. Alright. So that's something we can go to. You're just in a slump. We all go through them. I mean, not as long as you have. We all go through them. Don't feel sorry for yourself, man. You're making me sick. Hit the bricks, Sly. You got business to take care of. Alright. What's your story? Hey, Booter. Caught your swan dive earlier. Pretty sweet, dude. You like that? Been practicing all week. Hey, you still looking for work? My friend Deanimo's been exploring the tunnels for some guy. Maybe they need an extra hand. She's slumming at Frank's Flophouse if you're interested. Thanks, babe. You're a peach. All for you, Booter. Alright. So we've been updated. So yeah, there's a Deanimo at Frank's Flophouse. Some guy hired her for a job. Maybe they need another hand. Remember that phrasing. It's going to come up later. Man, oh man, Sly. I gambled away all my money at Anachronox again. All I got left is a slag of mistech I found. What do you think? Should I sell this junk or what? So, yeah. This is going to come up. Mistech are these ancient artifacts that are kind of scattered all over the place. No one really knows what they do. It's kind of like the city of Anachronox itself. It's assumed to be a holdover from previous civilization. Hold on to it. Could be worth something. Canada, this guy's nickname is Sly. Oh, man. I don't know. Is there something you want to tell us? Do you perhaps have a previous life as a private investigator? Alright. So we're saved up. We got a job. Let's head on out. Hey, Boots. You okay, man? Didn't see what happened, but I heard the crash. You're resilient, man. This job's boring, so I've been taking up drawing, you know? Mostly doodles on the backs of the concert flyers. Want to see a little picture I drew? I'm not very good. So I'm seeing some, you know... Every artist had to start somewhere. That's how we will phrase this. Just ran next to the not limb without even commenting on it. I'll neither confirm nor deny the fact that I may have to murder fry all your electronics. Hey, Riz, good to see ya. Long time no see. All right, you there. You're friends with Rowdy. Why does he discriminate against floaters? I only want something to drink and an interesting conversation. We AWAR are an intelligent, well-spoken race. My cousin, Conrad, is the master informant of the bricks. You should look him up. He likes to hang out at the fountain overlook. In exchange, maybe you can talk to Rowdy about letting me drink in the bar. People look surprised when they hear an AWA talk so eloquently, but our vocal cords are the most versatile in the galaxy. An AWA can perfectly mimic the voice articulation of any species. Well, except the Fluvini oysterfish of Tentax X. I suppose Tentax 10, but whatever. If you heard our native language, it would burst your eardrums. I'll politely refrain from demonstrating. So yeah, we're starting to get into some of the weird elements of the setting, and now we're in for a, now first we have a small tutorial sequence here. Yep.
You're gonna hit me, aren't you?
Alright, it's fighting time. There's one small problem. We're in shit shape and he's gonna go first. And we're dead. Yeah, short game, right?
Was it something I said?
Yeah, to my sister.
Damn it! I was gonna use that on you. That's actually very intelligent for a thug.
There's a special introductory offer at the Temple of Beating up the street. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to brush up on those self-defense skills, don't you think?
Right. So that'll be our combat tutorial area. Alright. Yeah, stop at Whackmaster Jack's and brush up on your fighting skills. Just my humble advice. We also have a quest here to check out that Conrad guy we just heard about. He's supposed to be the master informant in the bricks. Funny how we never heard of him. Let's get moving. You're such a lucky dog sometime, Boots. Looks like someone dropped a heel grease plus over there behind me. So yeah, we're about to get our potion here. You know the drill. Alright, yep. Alright. There we go, yes. It's a bit of a finicky interface, but you get used to it. It's just good enough. But anyway, time for a money shot that shows off what kind of world we're dealing with here. We're living in the Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo universe, and people are walking on the ceiling. This is from 2001, so we're at least 23 years old by now.
I hate this place.
So yeah, we basically have Blade Runner as if it was designed like an Escher painting. Anachronox is a city that makes maximum use of all spaces, and so we've got gravity paths that generate relative gravity, allowing people to walk every which way, and allow cities to rotate and recombine as necessary. So this doesn't really reflect in games, per se, it's just kind of atmospheric details, but it's another one of those little things where you get the setting in the sense of the broad noir tropes it's working with, but it's also clearly working with something more fantastical and strange. Anyway, let's see if we can find... I believe this is actually the place. Yeah. Smart mixed-use urbanism is illegal in most of America. I know, right? Why can't we invent relative gravity? Anyway, let's get through this tutorial sequence. Yeah, I don't doubt Quake 2 could do directional gravity without literally ceasing to exist. Yeah, we're not exactly getting prey tech on this engine, unfortunately. Anyway, let's look around. So yeah, this is a kind of fighting arena that exclusively exists to teach us how to fight. Fortunate, is it not, that just such a place as this exists? I've nothing to fear in the dark of night, for I have beefy whacking at my disposal. Last night, while strolling home, someone was following me. I could tell by the sound of his dainty footfalls that he was a ruffian of the most degenerate sort. Just as he came within my grasp, I unleashed high-octane beefiness upon him. I broke him, snap for snap, bone for bone. I held him like a giant paintbrush, spelling out my name on the wall with his blood. Self-defense is sweet. I fucking love the writing in this game. It's just perfect. Again, getting that too dark vibe to this place. A little hard to see where we're going. Ah, here we go. Alright. She says she likes men with broad shoulders. Every guy she's gone out with is the size of a zong ball player. But she complains they're dumb as dice. Well, I'm gonna be both. Brains and brawn, all in one. Just need some help on the brawn. Yeah. Godspeed, sir. Hey, it's one of the guys that beat us up. Come on, Heenan, take a swing. These robo-targets are making a joke out of you. You're weak, kid. You ain't never gonna be somebody. You must not want it bad enough, Heenan. You're just standing there. We're throwing you back on the streets if you don't step it up. And etc, etc. Beatish Buguggle. Alright, this is the guy we need to talk to. Although actually, one little interesting little detail over here. Looking on my bag of glow dents, eh? I've been collecting glow dents for 10 long years now. I know all about them. Glow dents are odd rodents bathed in neutron radiation. They fuel your shield cells and power belts, so they're a definite must if you're going to get into any scraps. So, this is basically a power source that you're going to be using throughout the game. It's literally radioactive rats. They're originally discovered on Hephaestus, the Hephaestus, the lava planet where all those wonky monks live. Glowdens are easy to breed and easy to raise from similar non-radiated rodents. Yeah, a whole race of cancer mice. That encyclopedia, brother. They're such a cheap power source everyone's using now. Even Corticom finally got in on the action and markets them. The only real nasty thing about them is the odor. The fact that shield cells and power belts consume them. Lock, stock, and whiskers. Here, take one. It's worth 40 NRG. But don't get too friendly with it. They're meant for fuel, not companionship. Alright. So yeah, basically we're doing standard JRPG stuff, but they're coming up with funky terms with each one. And we'll see that demonstrated here with the tutorial sequence. Judging by the choice condition of that shiner, I suspect you're here to learn the fine art of the scuffle, the beat, the whack. Know then that I don't take loafers and I don't take thieves. I take students, and I expect respect. Give me a lip and I'll fatten it. Before we begin, however, there's a small matter of my training fee. Knowledge isn't cheap, but for a mere 5 loonies, we can begin our first lesson. Yeah, combatives. Yeah, Civvy would just have a full-on mental breakdown. Oh yeah, streets of Anachronox hide all manner of threat. You'd do well to learn some basics. Come, step into the ring. If you're gonna learn the way of the whack, you better cut jack wise and beef up on the fundamentals. Some of this will seem simple, basic even, but unless you got a firm grasp of the firm grasp, you're gonna be coughing up teeth instead of wisecracks next time you're in a scuffle, got it? So let's learn the basic abilities and concept that can make even an infirm bag of loose change like yourself into a bastion of beathood. First of the basic abilities is Might. Indicates how physically powerful you are in a fight. Something about that spare tire around your girdle tells me this ain't gonna be your forte. So yeah, that's basically your strength. Second of these basic abilities is Agility. What makes you fast, graceful, and likely to avoid a licking. True master of agility can dodge, etc., etc. Right now, though, I'm just not seeing it, Tiger. The third and last of these is Wisdom. This doesn't seem your forte either, but let's hope for your sake there's still a brain cell or two rattling around in there. No young, it's toxic. Hold on a sec, Chief. I came here to learn how to fight. So far, all you've done is explain really obvious concepts while giving me the verbal smackdown. You gonna teach me something useful or what? Bold of you to assume Sly has teeth left after the morning he's had. If you want to learn something, take your medicine and bridle your tongue. If you get frazzled this easily, you're gonna get sandbagged by the first scrapper you lock horns with. You want to size up your enemy on the quick and make fast tactical decisions in the thick of the thick, drop your pride, and use your brain. Wisdom boils down to intelligence. Though you can't drub an opponent with brains alone, a spoonful of wisdom can make a little might go a long way. So yeah, that's an important attribute for your beat block, which is basically defense. So you've got 3 core statistics here, and then a bunch of derived statistics from that. It's very straightforward. I mean, they use funky words for it, but you'll get it real quick once you get going. Yeah, until you really understand these obvious ideas, you're hopeless. Get me? Now pay attention. Main skills used in battle are beefiness, beat, speed, and beat block. Beefiness is your ability to deal out large amounts of raw damage. Beat is how good you are at hitting someone. Speed is how fast you can attack, and beat block is how it allows you to avoid getting hit by your opponents. With me, squab? Self-improvement's what separates us from the animals. So does a high-caliber beat pistol, which is notably absent from your person. Yeah, well, about that. See, save it. It happens when your clientele are mostly deadbeats. I'll let you have this old Viston pistol. It's old, beat up, but it's better than a bare-knuckle blood fight. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, always have your weapon equipped at all times. Yeah, I gotcha. It's actually not possible to de-equip a weapon unless you got something else. Anyway, let's see if you can shoot straight, boss. Chance wasted to call the stat beats per second. Yeah, that would have been fun. Anyway, so yeah, we have your standard active time battle here. You'll see it when we get rolling. Alright, this is what it looks like when you get into battle. As soon as the fight breaks out, battle pack will appear. Whenever it's your turn in combat, icons will appear above. These allow you to select your next move in battle. Alright, this is attack. When you click on it, icons, etc., etc. Again, most of this stuff is fairly obvious, and it just takes a bit of getting used to due to the interface. Items, and then special actions on the field. Sometimes there'll be a thing you interact with to cause a plot thing to happen. Anyway, so you got our gauge filling over here. You might have noticed the circle filling up around your battle plaque, your timer. Once that fills, you can take an action. Try shooting the robo-target. Done. Could you imagine not being able to put something down after picking it up? Yeah, that's basically what happened in the Hitchhiker's Guide text adventure game. You started the game with no tea, and you had to remove your common sense in order to get rid of it so you could have tea. That game was a trip. So yeah, we did a whopping 8 damage to this thing, and now it's going to beat the shit out of us in return. Yeah, not our best day here, no. Health bar shows how much life you have. Yes, I got you there. Go ahead and take another shot at him and we'll move on. God, if only. That game was sadistic and it knew it. Not bad, kid, but you need to loosen up. You hold the gun like it's a dead rat. You gotta wrist it better. You got plenty of potential, but don't let it go to your head. Especially after seeing what that robot droid did to you with one hit. Alright. I wouldn't normally do this, but you can't learn or pay me if you're dead. Some porker once paid me with a life cursor shield upgrade. So I don't even own one, why not you take it? No, really, you caught me on a generous day. Go ahead and apply the upgrade. I'm curious to see if it's got any guts. So we're about to get our first character-specific special skill. Yeah, third time in the last 35 minutes Sly's getting whomped on. Yeah, not exactly a running start for our heroic detective here. Alright, so these are battle skills, and that depends on something else that's going to charge up. This special energy, which slowly accumulates during battle, is called Bouge. God only knows why they chose that. I don't know if that actually means anything, but yeah. This is basically your limit break meter. It slowly charges, and that's what lets you activate special skills. Alright. So once it's our turn, we can use this to activate a shield, and that'll reduce the damage we take. Use that on us. Bouge is French for move. Oh, cool. So it is a word. Awesome. So yeah, it's kind of a power move thing. So yeah, Fatima puts up a shield for us. And we'll take a lot less damage now. Yep, you got the movement. Alright. So that basically halved the damage we took. Quite the difference. Congratulations, squad. You survived your first lesson. Now that you know the basics, we can build on them. Alright, every new client gets 2 heal grease plus at the end of their first lesson. Judging by the way that robot beats you around, you're gonna need it. Come grab me again when you're ready. Alright. Doubt it uses the French meaning. I assume we actually use the English one. Huh, interesting. Anyway, we level up from that. Let's make sure we're healed up. Looks like we're doing alright here. Good, good, good. Some annoying reason we have to run back out. Okay, obsolete. To swell or bulge, to scoop or gouge out. Huh. Interesting. Alright, let's do it. On to the next lesson. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I figured it was a word they just made up, but yeah, figuring that, considering they used the Canadian dollar for the currency, I have to assume that they were going for something there. Anyway, now to learn about distance. Distance between you and your enemies can make all the difference in the world. So here's a notable difference from Final Fantasy VII, in that you're actually moving around the battlefield as you fight. So, don't roll your eyes at me, squab. For all I know, you haven't a cent of common sense in that cranium. Till you prove otherwise, I gotta state the obvious. So, there's actually a difference between melee and ranged, and your characters will have to move into melee if that's all they're equipped with, or avoid melee opponents if they can. So yeah, I saw that. I swear to class, son, you roll your eyes away one more time, I'll knock him out for good. You feel me? You hear me? Written French looks made up most of the time. Anyway, yeah, now for a movement tutorial. Remember last lesson taught you about the different battle icons? So we're going to focus on move here. So yeah. Try avoiding it for as long as possible using the move button. Let's see how far those chicken legs get you. Alright. So yeah, we're kind of limited in where we can move, but it adds a small tactical element as you reposition around the field, and some bosses will require you to hit them from a specific angle, or get to a specific objective. Alright. Now this is real time until you select an action. So if we do this, we've actually got all day to make a decision, which, you know, in this case isn't much, but we move over here. Basically the gauge only fills when you're not selecting something, and that'll be more of an issue when you have other party members. French is a fake language the French invented to confuse everyone. You're a slippery one. Might save your life someday, squab. Not the most useful tactic in battle, but it's nice to know your options in a pinch. If you're gonna make a habit out of getting slapped around every time I throw you in the ring, I better teach you how to heal yourself. Alright, heal grease, got it. Okay. instantly on non-humans, non-humans, and bots alike. So yeah, telling us we're going to have some non-human companions we can use this stuff on. Luckily for you, Corticom gives me a free supply of standard heal grease, etc., etc. So now we're going to teach us how to heal in battle using items. Nice and easy. Excusez-moi, no, no, no. It is a fascinating language. Again, they can make even the most mundane or outright horrifying of things sound classy and dignified. Alright, now that we've made appropriate changes to the arena, it's going to teach you something that might give you the whip hand in an encounter. Sometimes you'll have the opportunity to use the surrounding environment to your advantage. So this is how we interact with stuff in the environment that might have a plot purpose or offer us a tactical advantage. So we're going to move over, turn a switch, and that's going to activate a force field. So let's move over here. And on our next turn, we activate this thing. Unfortunately, he's going to stay still there. Alright. Yep, so he's set to melee mode, can't attack us. Now we can hit him. We can hit him and cannot be hit in return. This, in particular, doesn't come up often, but it's just an example of something that might happen for a particularly important encounter. Making progress, squad. Alright. Just realize that having a ranged weapon doesn't always mean you'll hit your intended target. Line of sight can come into play during battle as well. For example, if someone stands directly between you and the enemy, chances are you won't target them and vice versa. Alright, I can see you're getting that insolent look again. Let's end this lesson before you push me too far and I cane your face. Alright. One more lesson here for the tutorial. But yeah, even from this, you can kind of get the general tone we're going for. It's all concepts we're familiar with if you played pretty much any console RPG of the era, but with some creative, sardonic twist to it that kind of livens things up. So yeah, this is about status effects. Take for instance the Bindle Bag. When you throw one at an enemy, they will experience a burn status effect until the flames go out. Same's true if someone nails you with one too. Here, take these and test them out on our friend here. Alright. Let's throw a firebomb at this fella. A lot of that dynamic camera stuff going on in combat. Nice, looks like you blew off the fiddly bits. Actually, a pretty good damage there. Alright. With better weapons comes a need for better defenses. That's where shield cells come in. Shield cells give you an extra layer of protection, forcing your enemies to chew through your shields before they can get to you. I'll let you borrow an old shield cell for training purposes, but don't even think about running off with it. Even my worst shield cell is worth more than everything you own, except maybe the life cursor. So yeah, this is essentially defensive equipment that gives us a boost to our health meter. So yeah. When we go in, you can see we've got a little bit more here. Yeah. Your shield cell had 200 health, but now you have 40 more hit points. The extra health is from the shield. There's a fun little bug with the way this is implemented. I'll explain after we get through this. Alright, we'll go ahead and take a shot at him. And we'll let him take a whack. So yeah, basically just gives you a little more cushion to take damage. Alright, last and most important advice, invest in a shield pack. Now give it back before you forget to return it. So yeah, let's get a little more talking here. Then I send you off into the great, big, wonderful world of beating strangers, my boy. Whackmaster Jack can teach you no more. Anything else you're gonna learn, you gotta earn at the cost of your own blood out there in the field where it counts. Give and take, cut and thrust, make him bray, and never be afraid to shoot him in the ding-dong. Take care, kid. Don't die dumb or anything. Though in your case, I guess that's inevitable. Ooh, pun time, huh? Let's see what we got here. That's it, kid. We're done. No more. Party's over. Go out and conquer the world. Right. Well, all that punching and getting punched sure worked up an appetite. I could go for an Anachronox. Ha ha! Thank you. Anyway, now that that's done, we can actually defend ourselves now. And we even leveled up from that, so we got a fighting chance. So the bug I mentioned from that is your shield cell will recharge after every fight, and the game basically treats it as part of your HP pool, so if you don't take damage in the next fight, you'll actually keep recovering HP above what you had before. So essentially, if you had 200 hit points, then you're down to 100, you equip a shield cell that adds 40. In the next fight, if you don't take any damage, you'll have 100, 180, and the next fight, 220, and so on until you're maxed out. So it basically acts like a free heal, and it's not really meant to. It's just kind of a fun, janky little implementation there. So Vertigo, here, now. So dizzy, must breathe deep. I tried to walk up the slope green grav path that leads to Anachronox just around this corner. But as soon as I felt myself walking up the wall, I panicked and kicked off. The relative gravity system is madness. When I look up and see people walking on the ceilings, it just breaks my mind. It reminds me too much of Madeline. The key is to stay on the same plane. Alright. So what do we got here? I fling things for $1. I'll fling your trench coat for $1. That's right. I'll fling anything for $1. Doesn't matter the shape or size. I'll fling it right over the rail for $1. I'll fling myself down there for $1. I think it's illegal to throw things down the fountain, dude. Are you serious? Yep. Flingbot don't care. He's gonna just fucking do it. He was my friend. So yeah, you're getting the sense of the tone we're going for here. We've got some sincere character arcs happening, and like real, often sometimes dramatic things happening, but it's surrounded by this surreal gauze of an environment that makes everything just kind of dreamlike. You have the package? Oh wait, nothing. Yeah, he died as he lived. I'm just waiting for my wife. Yeah, I'll just bet. Let's see. Did I talk to you already? Hey, weren't you that hot detective with a cool ride? What happened to you, man? You look awful. Don't you remember? You questioned me about a case a few years ago. Had a little toy robot taking notes for you. Uh-huh. And you were always hanging out with that really good-looking Jane. Cool brunette number. Whatever happened to her? Well, nice talking to you. Hope you get your life out of the gutter. Alright, so... Right, that goes back that way. Medium, Rowdy, Zordos. Is there anything else we could do? Ah, right, I think we couldn't go this way just yet. This was roped off. That poor creep fell 40 feet to his death. That grav path up there must have malfunctioned. Makes you wonder if you'll be ready when your number's up. You've lived the life you wanted to live? Hey, how long have you been standing there? Get your kisser out of here before I scratch the teeth from your fat face. You heard me, Frowsy. Hit the bricks. So yeah, you'll get weird moments of sort of poetic dialogue, and then the character kind of just reverts to their actual character. The robot and the broad shared the same fate. They got stiff. Oh, there's a story behind that, Ivory. Anyway, let's go try out this grav path. Ah, so we got someone over there. We might actually... That might be the guy I'm looking for. Ah! Alright, time for a rematch here. Unfortunately, we're not doing too hot here. Oof, fuck. Okay, now would be a good time to heal up. Alright, heal grease plus. Patch yourself up, my dude. I think we might have just had to bindle bag this guy. We're still very much on our back heels. Alright. Granted, I did set this on the maximum difficulty, which isn't as hard as it sounds. It's more than just this early in the game, your moveset is limited. But that takes care of him. There we go. Finally, we won a fight. Yeet. Now we get somewhere. Anyway, up the wall we go. All it cost you was setting someone on fire. Quite. Alright, now what do we got here? What did he look like? Bandana and a ponytail, I think. I don't remember. It happened so fast. Pretty sure he was shirtless and his nipples were pierced. I caught a wisp of spasm perfume. Yeah, Harry Dubois and this guy should hang out. Yeah, he's kind of a proto-Harry in this case. Notice anything funny about his eyes? Now that you mention it, one eye was completely red. And he's a member of the Junkyard 20 gang. Their numbers have grown ever since the Sacred Fools disbanded at the Sewer Wars. Admission to the Junkyard 20 demands a painful rite of passage. They hollow out the inductee's left eye with a gory and heat fork and some disinfection acid. Then a ruby robo eye cup is stuffed into the empty socket. I doubt we'll find your purse, man, but I'll see what I can do. Thank you, officer. You're so unbelievably nice for a Nox guard. Would you like me to walk you home, ma'am? Heavens no, my dog would disown me. Now that's high comedy, folks. Hey, shut up! Just another day in Anachronox. I got my purple heart in the Sewer Wars. I kind of mentally file that guy with the unusually intelligent guard from Titan AE. That's a classic exchange. What's your story? I'm going to kill him. Oh. No, wait. First I'm going to take all his money, then I'm going to kill him. My father deserved better. Simon Langer must pay for what he did. Too bad his address isn't listed on SenderNet. More on that story later. Alright. Let's see. Ah, this guy. Here we go.
I know secrets. Lots of them. We could share a few if you've got any to spare.
Look, you little beefer. I know every Stulola from here to the reservoir. And you ain't a regular.
Regardless, I know things. For example, one of Detz's crash doctors threw a private dick out a window today, just a few blocks away from here.
Oh yeah.
Flung like a rag doll.
So you heard about that, huh? Big deal. You gotta do better than that if you want to impress me.
Your first pet was a miniature Spitzer named Earl.
What's your rate, Chunker?
Strictly a quid pro quo arrangement. I believe the free exchange of information should be the goal of every civilized society. Don't you think? Keeps everyone just a little more honest.
So I gotta share my dirt with you before you'll sprinkle any of your own, huh?
That's the idea. I'll be here for the next few hours if you have any inquiries, Detective.
Defenestrated detective. Yeah, about that. Okay, so yeah, we need information for him. I think there's a specific bit of information we need to give him. Anything about uncloud for you? Nope. Oh, right. We need to know what to ask first before we can do that. But yeah, apparently that VA is just some random security guard for Ion Storm that they just yanked into the recording booth one day. I actually quite like it. There's a cutscene later with him that I think is just actually shot pretty well. But yeah, that's basically what we're dealing with here. This is... You might pick up a name here or two. You might pick up a voice here or two that shows up elsewhere. The lead character, I believe he's voiced by Bruce DuBose, who probably is best known as Marcus from the Borderlands series, but that's about all I know him for. But yeah, you seen this woman? So yeah, if we wanted to scuttle the whole Resistance quest line to begin with, we could actually turn them in right here and we wouldn't get anything more, but no, we are gonna keep our mouths shut. We're not helping the cops today. Yeah. I have Texas memes for you later on in the stream after it, because Dallas. Oh boy. Oh, this sounds like a story behind it. I can't wait. That's an Anachronox symbol. Okay. Someone's on fire just around the corner. This area is closed off until he puts himself out. So yeah, this is why this area is closed off. There's literally a dude on fire and we're just waiting for him to burn out. Again, very surreal tone we're going with. A lot of black comedy, very much in the sense of life is cheap. But there's occasional grains of humanity in there as well that just kind of makes it fascinating. Anyway, see all those little grub bugs? They breed in the warm underbelly of those conductor pipes and molt under the grating before coming up in search of food. Careful where you step. The Bribulans have an old saying, step on a grub, your life will stub. Well, something gets lost in the translation, but you get the point. It's bad luck, man. Okay, yes, yes, yes. You know a lot about these things. Alright. You, sir, what's your story? Delicious fruta, raised with love and carnival seeds. Lovely fruta, coveted by greedy eye and greedy hand. Precious fruta, cultivated by Class itself. Beautiful fruta, constant target of hungry thievery. Do not touch the fruta fresca. It is not for sale. Yeah, he's just got it on display here. Steal not the fruta. Popo won't even piss on the poor man while he's on fire. Typical. There's a funny little gag with a fruit vendor later on. Hey, got 50 bucks. Awesome. We basically just tripled our wealth. So yeah, this is a medical clinic here. Gala ever tell you how she got into this business? She started her career as a cyberneticist. When her son was nearly killed in a swerver accident, she devised a radical new grafting process to save him. It was a major advancement in traditional biomelding techniques. Gala is a multimillionaire, but she insists on working the shop herself. Here on Anachronox, of all places. She said something about the bricks needing her help the most. Don't tell her I told you, though. Mom would kill me. So yeah, in spite of the things happening around here, in spite of the sheer callousness with which a lot of people behave, there are still decent people in here. Again, fitting the noir motif of the world's a dark place, but there are good things in it. If you're willing to look for them and you're willing to take care of them. Anyway, you, sir. Can I talk to you? No. I believe we can go back here, yes. I think she just sells us heel grease. Here we go. Nice to see you alive and kicking, Boots. I was sure dead ahead you sent to Marbletown. So yeah, if we want to buy more heel grease, we'll take a couple more. We'll buy 3. Ain't got that much. Alright. Anything else back here? Heal 20 if we wanted to step in there. Ah! Found a taco. The acronym is purposeful. It stands for Totally Arbitrary Collectible Object. There's actually a fun little subplot about these that we find out later. It's a rather extensive backstory for how they came to be. Alright, most of these doors we can't go into. Oh, we got thugs here. Ah, that guy missed. Get fucked. That guy didn't. Ow. Alright. Should do a little better against these guys. Emphasis on a little. Aha, he can't even see. I mean, you know, maybe blinding yourself in one eye didn't do wonders for your depth perception. Just saying. Alright, one more shot should get him down. I don't know if I have any more bindle bags. Ah, fuck. He's got one. Unfortunately, they don't do quite as much contact damage to us, but that fire is going to be an issue. So, alright, we've got one, which is good. Ironically, this game is kind of hardest in the early game before you get a lot of good defensive options, and before you actually have, like, a party. Alright. Ah, damn it. Yeah, pretty much. You gotta suffer before you get the good shit. There we go, one down. Oh shit. Okay. Heal up, my dude. Ah, fuck, we're out of the heal grease plus. Might last just long enough to chuck out a bindle bag. Alright. There you go. Eat this. Got him.
Warning. Transition minor.
Alright.
Sections 32, 33.
Oh, I think we got a couple more bindle bags. Nice.
Commence in 15 seconds.
Alright. Good thing we have the medic here. Alright, onward. So, let's see, what do we got here? Transition plate 27 is currently unaligned. Please keep this area clear in the event of a transition. The district of South Anachronox is not liable for injury or death resulting from plate transitions. So yeah, we're getting a very Midgar vibe from this place. I don't know how much was explicitly influenced by Final Fantasy VII, but a lot of the visuals and the style of it, when it's not just pulling straight from Cyberpunk, or pulling straight from Blade Runner, kind of has that feel to it. Remind me of a guy in my precinct. He's different from the rest of the Nox guards. He wears a leather jacket over his uniform and a pair of jeans. He's got his own set of rules, testing the limits of the law with his own brand of street justice. Eddie knows. Oh yeah, Eyes gets it. And I hate him, so stay away from me before I take it out in your face. More on that later. I'm kind of hoping we do get to that. Nice view, huh? I was gonna kill myself. This is where I jump from. People take the one-way dive from here all the time. Happens pretty often around here. The only thing stopping me taking the plunge myself is the new Beatles album is coming out next month. I gotta hear it. Yeah, you know, we cling to the little things that keep us moving. Remind me of those weirdo French sci-fi fantasy comics. I could see that, yeah. They're definitely drawing for some... They're definitely taking a more offbeat presentation with their universe than you usually got from stuff from this era. Like, it's not full-on Douglas Adams level parody, but there is certainly an absurd element to it that I find fascinating. Anyway, we are alien magicians. Beware our wily tricks. See our magical arm movements. Imagine our feats of amazingness. Don't look away for a moment. We're masters of illusion. Yes, I gotcha. Alright. What's your story? Can't believe Frank is letting that time miner hang out in his place of business. All he do is sit around waiting for people to give him affection and feed him. The life, huh? Time miners perceive time as a simultaneous occurrence, not a progression. For them, time doesn't move forward like it does for us. Everything is occurring at the same time. Their birth, their death, it's all happening now. They see all time as a whole. When you pet one, you achieve a small measure of immortality. You exist in their memory not just at that moment, but at every moment they ever have and ever will experience. Or something like that. Most people pet time miners before any big undertaking, but methinks people pet them a little too often. It's made after Incal, for example. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they're drawing for some more obscure points of reference. Hey, another taco! Awesome! Is there anything else in here? Naturally, this game does not, Here, I think I can pick this. This game does not mind you going in and just taking people's stuff. You are fully expected to be a loot gremlin. Nice and easy. Anything down here? Does it? Almost there. Beautiful. Anything down here? Ah, Frank's Privacy Lounge. Been to some primo bachelor parties in here. I've heard it's the prime spot for hidden deals as well. Frank doesn't care what goes on down here as long as he doesn't foot the cleaning bill. Anything? Any goodies? Doesn't look like it. So, nothing of inventory significance, but we will assuredly be down here later. Everything of his, I think more and more Jodorowsky's superpower is being really friends with really creative people. Hey, you know, sometimes you just get your ideas from the weirdest things. Like, inspiration can strike from things that are cobbled together half from one source and half from another. And sometimes it's just, yeah, what room's Deanimo in? Confidential. In fact, that's about $5 worth of confidentiality. Yeah. She's room A, sucker. Alright, here we are. Alright, so we got a picker lock, so obviously she's going to be expecting us. But yeah, I think a lot of creative efforts just come from having a diverse array of input. Reading a lot of stuff and just being aware of a lot of being aware of a lot of stuff, including stuff that takes you out of your comfort zone. It stretches your brain in interesting and sometimes uncomfortable ways, and requires you to adapt. Anyway, cutscene time.
Excuse me.
No, come on in. I could use the company.
Valesta sent me to see you about a job.
Forget about it. This old guy, Grumpos, he hires me to go into the tunnels, right? Bring back some mistech, easy job.
I'm positive
Oh,
this
I
girl
wasn't there
voiced
10
someone in
minutes
Deus
and
Ex.
Something came out of nowhere and did this to me.
Yeah, the Deus Ex bartender. Yeah, that's it. Jordan Shea.
Look at me. And the old bastard won't even pay me. He said, no mistech, no money. He's in the tenements next to the
Probably
movie
a couple
theater.
other voices,
You
too.
wanna punch him in the face for me? Right in the face.
So yeah, this is of a piece with what we heard from that miner in the bar, where there's something down there and it's interfering with efforts to excavate the tunnels. But as long as we're here, we're going to take her stuff. Oh, that's Valesta's bracelet. Can you take it back to her? Alright, sure. Now this is actually an equipable item we can use for, a stat boost. Oh. That's a master lock, we can't do that. Yeah, we can equip it for a stat boost, but we're going to be a reasonably nice person and actually bring it back to her at some point. Okay, can't open that. I desire free stuff. Apparently Sly Boots is like an antiquated term for a detective, too. Oh, hang on, I like this little gag here. I swilled too much Pazula. Oh, wait, no, wrong guy, sorry. I thought this was going to be the guy that talks about us taking stuff from other people. And he's like, yeah, I expect this from people. Go ahead, I won't stop you. But yeah, I know we're just going to take this guy's heel grease, because why not? That's 12 bucks, man. Alright, anything else in here? Eddie knows. He knows. Eddie knows Anachronox. Knows Anachronox like the back of his... Mom, that's butter. Mom? Oh, boy. So yeah, there's a mysterious guy somewhere in the bricks named Eddie who knows things. You can never have enough contacts, so keep an eye out. So that's something that's going to come up later. Anything in here? Doesn't look like it. Alright. Alright, so now we got to go find the guy that stiffed the Animo. That will introduce us to a significant character. Just ran a standard net search on this Grumpos character. His last name is Matavastros, and he was the curator of the Mistech Museum until about 6 months ago when he retired. Luckily for you, she was right. He lives just across the street in Building 5. Make sure to check their building directory. His apartment number isn't listed. Alright. That would be right over here. Alright, we are going to look around a little bit, though. Found this little critter half dead near the reservoir pipes. Took it home and nursed it back to health. Just wish I knew what it was. It's been eating rats around my apartment. Seems to like the taste of meat. Oh boy! Wonder how big it'll get. Good luck with that one, buddy. Hope you enjoy having lots of company with that. So this is interesting, too. These guys do not speak a common language, so we'll have to get a translator in order to do that. And that'll be a plot event happening soon. So that's a grocery store with Ralphio's. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Talking about alien reproduction stuff. What's back here? Where exactly do you think you're going? I was just leaving. Yeah. Definitely don't need to be irritating the nice man who is cooperating with Deda's thugs. Oh, there's the Eddie nose. Keep seeing these spray painted everywhere. Who the hell's Eddie? Who indeed? I think that goes to a plot area we won't go to just yet. Let's focus on speaking with Mr. Matavastros. Anyway. So this is an interesting little sequence. So we can look up a building directory here. And this actually is a... It's technically an internet terminal, but it's just kind of a standard information thing that shows different stuff on each place you go to. So yeah. This is a kind of a galactic gossip column. Who's the naughty alien trading shuttle passes for Toka Toka? Will he or she or it get found out now that Gum Fufo has been captured? What Rebulin socialite was found inebriated at the Tongata ritual, and on Queen Quick's doorstep? What heretic scientist recently dedicated a paper to her late father? Will the scientific world listen to good science after bad? And let's see. Well, I kind of like this one. For music lovers, the Thun Song album has just been released. The 2-mile-long mammals swimming the seas of Tentak X sing songs that last 14 hours, and they've got 623 of them packed onto a data coin. It's gotten great previews, possibly due to the fact that it's impossible to listen to the whole thing fast enough to review it in a timely fashion, so everyone assumes it's good. Yours truly skipped the track 617 and painfully listened to the whole thing, and it sounded like the first with a pip. It sounded like the first with a pip at the end. Not my taste, but I'm sure it has some cultural value somewhere. Anyway, let's see. We'll watch. The Bricks Marathon, held across the long run from the Fountain Spiral to Anachronox Tours, will take place on the 22nd. The 13-lap race will be on the second time for the marathon, which drew over 30 participants last year. Runners may not carry calibers over 357. So much for the small one to have avoided the flu his brother had. Oh man, sorry to hear it. This is telling us about info. So yeah, these will have slightly different information on each world and add a few more things to your glossary, which you can check again at any point. Ain't you seen a female Nox guard before? Right. Anyway, I think one of these does have the building directory. Or it's around here somewhere. Because there's one important piece of information. Ah, here we go. Alright. So, yeah, we are looking for Grumpos Matavastros. He is in C19. Now, there was another piece of information that we saw earlier. That one lady who was looking for... what was that guy's name? It was Simon something. Oh, wait, shit! I see that! You see that? Hobocop, C10! Oh, dude. I had no idea that was there. Awesome. You know what? It totally tracks that the makers of Disco Elysium were fans of this game. Anyway, there was one character I was looking for. But yeah, the guy that the one lady was looking for who said she's gonna kill him, he's in this building, and we can find him. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that. So your camera is actually a item you can use throughout the game, and sometimes you'll have quests associated with taking specific pictures, giving the game kind of a nice little detective-y feel. For the moment, we will go to the C section, or section C. And C19. So I think that would be on floor 4. Alright. Here we are. This must be where Matavastro's character lives. Alright, let's knock. No answer. Doesn't seem like he's home. Well, in that case, time to pick the lock. This is some cutscene lockpicking action here. You'll note there's nothing actually in the security room except for the guard, so I assume they just kind of stand there all day. It's basically a closet. Loving these camera transitions. But you know, they're sweeping and dramatic and such, but I think they still do a good job of doing the the overall tone. Like you saw for a second, they did that pan-zoom thing there, where they tighten the focus of the lens as they actually pull the camera back, creating this, like, focusing the center of the lens, while making everything else kind of distort. So they're experimenting with stuff that a lot of games of this era simply didn't. Some of it works, some of it didn't, but overall I think it's honestly pretty strong. Wait for it.
slink into my home that easily, you little thief?
I'm not a thief.
Says he after breaking into my house.
No, I'm not a thief. I'm looking for work.
Smartass.
I heard you were hiring for a plunder job in the tunnels. I thought...
Who told you that?
Dianimo?
Dianimo? That's a pitiful excuse for a thief. She ain't getting a penny out of me. Not one, you hear that? I feel bad for the girl, but she wasn't hired to fail, and I ain't paying for pity. Tell Dianimo she doesn't get paid until she makes good on what she was contracted for.
Well, you know, actually, I'm not here for Dianimo. I'm here to finish her job.
What did you say?
The tunnels. The Mistech. I'm your man. I'm experienced and expensive. Available.
Yeah, and desperate from the look of it. No thanks.
Come on, Gramps. I'm up to snuff. Just give me a chance. You need an escort, I need a job. What do you say? Is that a yes? No?
I'm in the middle of something. Will you stop distracting me?
But you're not listening. If you need a man to plunder the tunnels for you, look no further. I'm your... Whoa. Okay. Who's obsessed?
So yeah, we have some science happening in this room.
The hidden power of Mistech is my life's work. I'm closing in on a breakthrough. I can feel it, but I need more samples.
So what's the problem?
My last hero sallied forth and got her limbs ripped off. How are you any better than her?
I'm a professional.
Prove it. Bring me the helmet of a Nox guard.
I can do that. That's easy.
Size 5.
Brother, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Ah, good.
Get out!
That's just about how much longer I want to run the stream. Hey, another taco over there. Awesome. Alright. So yeah, we need to prove our worth as a... how to phrase this delicately? As an acquirer of things that do not belong to us before Mr. Monavastros will give us a paying job. Which we need, otherwise Dead as Thugs will kill us. So, we have a very strong motivation to do this. Let's go find us a helmet. Ah, I saw that. We're clipping into the elevator. Perfect. Early 2000s gaming, people. Alright. Alright. Fatima... Actually, wait, here we go. Size 5's helmet? Funny you should ask. The guy who found out his wife was pregnant this morning was complaining about it in the locker room. I think he's patrolling the platform area today. Sweet! Alright. Guard with a small helmet patrolling the platform area. On it. Yep. We got more thugs here. This is not exactly a random encounter, but these guys, I think, hassle you once or twice before this area is cleared properly. Now, we're a bit more survivable, so this shouldn't be a huge problem. There we go. Nice and easy.
Warning. Transition minor. Plate sections 32.
Alright, so platform area, so we'll follow the signs there. The layout's a little bit confusing. It's not quite linear. More like there's several forks in certain places. But it can be easy to get lost, so you want to pay attention to the signage. So let me head back, and let me see if that one lady is here. We'll go on up real quick. There's an interesting little bit of reactivity here. Is she around here? Yes, she is. If I only knew where Simon Langer is. Here we go. Try room C5 of tenement building 5. Are you serious? I'd given up all hope of deliverance. Here's 50 loonies for your trouble. That's all I can afford. So if we wanted to, we could have actually gone to that apartment and warned the guy by knocking on his door, or possibly hustled him out of some money. I think you get a few options, but he'll only pay up if you ask for 25 bucks. Anything more than that, and he'll ask for the info first and won't give it to you. And we don't ever really get confirmation of who's in the right or wrong here. It's just a thing we can do. Yep, she just gave me 50 bucks for telling him where a guy lives. I think the implication is the guy killed her father or something, although we don't know how true that is. But yeah, 50 bucks. What are you doing here? Hope you're not just looking to just tip your hat and pass go. Nuh-uh. Got the word today. Your green's no good with us. Not till you square your debts with a man. Beat it, Boots. Nothing personal, but you ain't kosher. Yeah, it's a fair number of coins. So yeah, I like this little stretch of Broadway here. It's got this very dense, neon-lit alleyway feel here. Again, a lot of the surrounding buildings are just flavor texture, but they add a lot of flavor. It's really nice. What about you? Regular card mechanic. I know every trick, every sham. Well, quite the sweet little pot last night. I cheated, of course. My opinion, it's the only way to make the game interesting. It's harder to cheat well than play well. Card counting ain't easy, bub. And keeping your face straight while you steal from strangers is tough. Speaking of which, give me your wallet. Alright, so of course we're going to fight this guy. You know what? I have no patience for this. Eat fire. I gotta get more of those bags. Those are useful, but it's a fixed amount of damage, and 200 hit points is not nearly as impressive later on. So you basically have to get other items to keep up. And your basic attacks start actually holding up their end of the bargain. Alright, so down to the platform area. Let's see, you got anything? Waiting for my next flight. Okay, nothing exciting. So this is kind of a shuttle area. And down we go. Yep, I saw that. There was a taco up there. Alright, I think this is the guy we're looking for. What a beautiful day. Haven't felt this glad to be alive in years. Green skies, smell of rocket fuel in my nostrils, skin crisping from jet exhaust. Every day should be this wonderful. Too bad I still got a headache from that damn helmet. Headquarters issued me a size 5 helmet this morning. It was cutting off circulation and I kept passing out. Luckily, the Nox guard I relieved from duty was nice enough to give me this replacement. Still got the size 5 helmet in my storage pack if you want to see it. When I show the guys back at HQ, they're going to split their pants. You think I could have the helmet since you're not using it? So yeah, we can just fight him if we want to take the helmet from him. But if we insist, we'll eventually get bother him until he gives it to us without a problem. Yeah, I'll tell you what, they give away free sandwiches and goodies to people who are down in their luck at the Salvation Surplus on Skid Row. But I really need the helmet, officer. Have pity on a poor, unemployed loser. Hey now, I won't listen to any self-pity, buddy. You gotta change your outlook on life. Stay optimistic at all times. It could be much worse. Be thankful you're not living in poverty on a planet like Genis or lifting crates on Goria. You got it good, mister. Life gets easier when you put things in perspective. Life gets easier when you give me the helmet. Persistent, aren't you? Look, that helmet isn't gonna solve your problems. Life is what you make of it. You can either be happy or depressed. There's an option. I choose to be happy. Good for you. You gotta be the most enthusiastic person you know. That's my motto. I couldn't agree more. Now can I have the helmet? You're like a broken record. You want the helmet? You won't be happy till I give you the helmet? Fine. Here's the helmet. Mission accomplished. Job well done. Now go away. So yeah, if we talk to him again, we'll get into a fight. Yeah, kind of another instance of the game venturing off into things it's hard to know exactly how seriously to take it. Just strange little exchanges to cover otherwise basic fetch quests. That's kind of the consistent tone of this game. Everything it does is... A lot of what it does is just by-the-book standard RPG design, but it comes up with interesting little spins to liven things up a little bit. The highlights of the game are really just the conversations and the characters you interact with, and I believe they actually strang the whole thing together, like all the cutscenes together, to make a machinima out of it. To basically just make a long movie out of the cutscenes. And it almost works. There are a few things here and there that don't quite fit seamlessly, but for the most part, this game does a very good job telling its story in sequence and painting a concise picture with each cutscene of what the key points are, and keeping you grounded as you venture through this strange, kind of surreal science fiction / almost fantasy environment. Anyway, let's get this helmet over to Grumpos. So there'll be an interesting bit of reactivity in here if we go up to... I believe it was B5, D5, C5. Langer, that's it. So yeah, if we go up to here, we will see that Maria Black did not make idle threats here. So this area is roped off. There's a murder here. Beat it before there's another one. What he said. Now, interestingly, this also happens if you warn him about her, and it's not really clear who killed who. It's just kind of an interesting little background story from which you could potentially profit, and it also kind of colors in the world in kind of an interesting way. The game kind of has little details like that sprinkled all over. Little things you can do that the game doesn't really instruct or even expect you to. Anyway, let's talk to Grumpos. We'll give him the helmet. Where's the door to this place? Ah.
All right, geezer. Stop fondling the mistack and crack a gander at the goods.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
Am I hired or what?
Data beefed up security since the Dianimo fiasco. Getting into the tunnels might be trouble.
We'll deal.
Here, take this and plug it in your ear. You'll understand every language from here to the Traeger anomaly.
So now we can
Spiffy.
talk to the
Where'd you pull
aliens
this
that we weren't
baby
able to
from?
talk to before.
The Nox Guard helmet. Linguinators became standard issue 2 months ago.
Really? How'd they communicate with the aliens before that?
They beat 'em up.
Well, where the hell do we go now?
Lead the way, hot pants.
Right, so now we have our first party member, Grumpos. And yeah, we can switch between them and they have their different world skills. So yeah, we need to get to the Mistec tunnels, which aren't far away. Okay, so the Mistec tunnels are right down the street. Just make a left at the fork and follow the path down. Even you can't get lost, Boots, but good luck anyway. So yeah, another interesting bit of reactivity here. We can take Grumpos over to Dianimo and force him to pay up. And we shall. Surprisingly, he's actually more of a melee combatant, and he'll be kind of a frontline fighter. You. Either you come to pay me what you owe, or you're here to die. So yeah, settle down, girl. I'm here to compensate you for your efforts. So if you wanted to, we could be a complete asshole about this, but we'll give her some money. We'll actually see her later in the clinic, getting new limbs reattached. I guess thanks is what I mean, little bastard. As I failed the job, I don't expect all the fee, but 200 loonies would pay for good wound welding at Gala's. There you go, 200 loonies on the spot. At least I get to check out of this flea pit now. And again, it's nothing. You don't actually get rewarded for anything that you don't get rewarded out of that, but it's just a nice little detail that the game follows up on. Writing, reactivity, world building. This game's chock full of it. Alright. Now this way leads to the Mistec tunnels, but there's a very large problem in the way. Can't believe it. They got a Mephidine door lord guarding the entrance to the Mistec tunnels over there. I never thought I'd see one, especially in a dump like the Bricks. Such a majestic creature. Take a look. Thousands of years of natural selection have perfected a race of flawless guards. While they're still in the womb, they're taught to keep watch over their mother while she sleeps by listening through her stomach and warning her of danger by kicking. Their word for door literally translates into protect. He is physically incapable of letting anyone pass that door without sacrificing his own life in the process. Isn't that awesome? Makes you wonder what's in the tunnels, I mean, aside from the mistech. Did you know that Data collects mistech? He's got a huge collection. Funny that a thug like that would be into antiques. So, you see in the story threads here that they're laying? Grumpos was researching this, talking about unlocking their ancient power. Data, the local crime lord that we're indebted to, also happens to be into this. Tuck that into the back of your mind. It'll be, let's say, very relevant much later in the story. Alright. Work for hire as they come back empty-handed. Should I go talk to him? Betcha Eddie would know how to get past him. So yeah. The scientific community must be given access to these tunnels. How can this Data character just stake his claim on public property with a wave of his hand? You just don't understand, do you? Why don't you make me understand, officer? I'd love to, as soon as this guy gets out of hearing range. Beat it, butt steak. I'm about to get my evening exercise. Right. Anyway, I am a Mephidine Door Lord. I cannot allow you past this door. Okay, fellas, I'd rather not see you get eviscerated at just this moment. Provoking a Mephidine Door Lord is not the answer here. We better fish up another way into the tunnels, because this guy's not gonna budge. What about this Eddie character I've heard so much about? He's becoming a real underground figure in the bricks, judging by all the Eddie knows graffiti we see sprayed everywhere. Maybe knows an alternate entrance to the Mistec tunnels. Worth a try anyway. The worst that could happen is we get a good contact in future cases, right? But where to find Eddie? Hey, what about Kakonbrad, that information specialist we met at the Fountain Overlook? He seems to know his stuff. Maybe he can point us to this Eddie character. Hell, he might even know how to get into the tunnels. Just a thought, or two. Alright. So we'll wrap up after this cutscene coming up, which I quite like. But yeah, you're getting a sense of the adventure here and how this simple search for money to pay off a debt starts spiraling rapidly out of control as we get wrapped up into a broader quest that involves Mistec and takes us across the galaxy. And it's kind of a smooth incline in terms of what you're personally responsible for and expected to do and the overall stakes. It's quite a while before anything serious happens, and a lot of it is just initially this personal quest to get out from under you. Yeah, I've got some SimU farming to do. Oh boy. Yeah, I got a lot of catching up there, unfortunately. Alright. This is a mic off moment. I'm just gonna let the scene speak for itself here.
Okay, so what's the scoop on this Eddie character?
Now, detective, you know the deal. First, you feed me information worth my while.
Well, my neighbor's cat is sick.
Excuse me?
Yeah, blood in his vomit and everything.
Oh, that won't do, detective. Another try, please.
Well, there's always Doyle.
Doyle Doralimus, bouncer at Rowdy's. What about him?
Rowdy's been lazy with the payroll. Doyle monkeys with the books, paying himself for extra days. He's been skimming for months. Now who's Eddie?
Eddie the True. Eddie, like myself, gathers information. Although not the most reputable of callings, I realize, Eddie has elevated our lowly profession into nothing less than an art form. No fact is too small. No shred of data too insignificant. He follows each thread of information, each string of thought, juggling this raw data in his mind until a pattern emerges. Look around you. Eddie owns this place. He owns it in the most devious way possible. In his mind. Make no mistake, detective. Eddie knows.
Yeah, whatever. Where do I find this creep?
Loco Coldwolf.
Who? What?
Loco Coldwolf. A name. A man. Follow him. All paths lead back to Eddie. It was a pleasure, detective.
Likewise, Shoeshine. What's your secret?
You would be surprised how rarely people look up.
God, I fucking love that conversation. Just the way the camera moves around between them, the framing with the fountain behind him, the way it cuts into the Anachronox area, and, you know, the fountain thing will come up later, so that framing is significant. the tone and inflection, the way this game kind of blends classic noir tropes with this almost mystical sci-fi feel, the pacing on that final delivery, the way he takes flight. I mean, a lot of this stuff is probably just film school 101, but god damn it, this game just deserves the attention it never got. Anyway, just ran a center-net search on Lucko Coldwolf. He owns a pawn shop in the slums, and his last place of residence is 628 Barton Arms in the tenements. Be careful. But yeah, we will call it there. Now, later on, the game kind of goes into more standard RPG fare and gets more combat-heavy and less investigation-focused, but it always had kind of that feel of... It returns frequently to that feel of exploring an area and... returns to that feel of having to explore an area and organically find clues and information about where your targets are, what you're looking for. You're not always led by the hand for where to go, but you have to look around and follow signage. You have to look around and ask people where this person is. There's a whole investigation quest much later on that actually has a few possible different outcomes that I really, really like. But yeah, this is a really great game. I'm glad GOG has a workable version. There's definitely still some problems with the actual game part of it. The combat is slow and not very inspired. The whole thing, there's like a whole system that unlocks magic later on that's kind of half-baked. But everything around the game is just fascinating, and I'm amazed this game got released from the same studio that gave us Daikatana. What an era, man. What a time to be alive. But anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good night. We'll be back to Baldur's Gate 3 on Saturday. Until then, see you next time.